Olathe, Kansas. I'm Christy Porter, along with my hostess here, Alexis and Max and Ben. And we are looking at our TV25's coverage of the Old Settlers Parade. And we are sponsored both by Santa Fe Tow and Town & Country. And we have here with us this afternoon our candidate for Overland Park Mayor. It's Charlotte O'Hara.
Thank you.
Welcome, Charlotte.
Thank you.
To the madness of TV25 Hot Seats. I say that with all love. Welcome.
It does not seem too painful yet.
Not yet.
I have to ask, though, did your parents...
Yes.
Okay. Does anyone call you Scarlett?
Absolutely. Yes.
I like it.
This is what my parents did to me.
They must have a good sense of humor.
I guess.
Or they hoped you would. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay. Well, I'm a candidate for mayor of Overland Park. And my background is that I have a degree in education, graduated from KU, detoured from that and was a general contractor and developer.
Oh, wow.
And
like construction?
Yes, yes. And then I now own industrial buildings here in Olathe, and then we also have a little manufacturing company here in Olathe.
Oh, that's really interesting. That's cool.
Yeah.
So I did see, and just kind of looking at stuff. Oh, wait. Give us your previous political experience. That might be good, too.
Okay. Well, I was in the House of Representatives in 2011 and 2012. And prior to that, I was the Republican 3rd District Chair. I ran for county chair in 2006, and then I also ran for state senate in 2012.
And how did all that go?
Well, I made a couple of people really cranky. Governor Brownback being one.
If everybody was happy, you wouldn't be. You know what I mean? It's
yeah. So but I'm noted to be willing to stand up to the big boys and tell them that.
Excellent.
Sometimes they need to get their hands out of the cookie jar.
I hear you. Hey, let's listen to that Spring Hill Band real quick here.
Woo!
Mostly because they're right upon us. That's a cute group. Please don't, or do not. Sure. I know. Let's get back to Charlotte now that we can do that. We can hear ourselves
Right
there.
here.
Oh, I love competing with drums.
You have a company here in Olathe?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool. What is that?
It's Rutland Corporation, and we manufacture plastic products. And one of them is if you ever buy a margarita bucket and you see the spigot, we manufacture the spigots.
Someone's got to manufacture the spigot. It's you.
Yes, we're in it. We're on it.
And you're a developer?
I did some developing, yes, but more I was a general contractor. But I haven't done that for several years. The last house that I built was in 2001. So, yeah, I've gone a different direction.
How do you spend your time right now? Because I believe you are a mother of 5.
I am a mother of 5, but the youngest is 21.
Oh, great!
So, and then I have 7 grandchildren and then 3 step grandchildren. So, yeah, we're a big family.
So you've got a little. Your squad is helping you with this election process.
Yeah, a little bit. They're really not too much into politics, but yes, my oldest daughter, is the treasurer for my campaign. So
that's really cool.
Yeah. Oh,
Good.
yeah. They'll come on board. They're just like, oh, Mom.
Well, this begs the question, though. I know Carl Gerlach has been mayor for a while in Overland Park. I live in Overland Park.
Yes.
So tell me what it is that you want to come in and do differently that he has been doing.
Well,
what was the motivation behind this? That's really the question.
The motivation to run was that our corporate welfare of incentives and tax abatements have just morphed out of control. And I'll give you an example. 103rd and Antioch, the old Brook Ridge Country Club. Yes. There is a $1.8 billion project proposed there, and the developer is requesting nearly $600 million in tax incentives through Star.
TIF money, or
it's Star bonds, where that can divert almost all the sales tax back to the developer, and then tax increment financing, where that can divert 90% of the increase in the property taxes back to the developer, and then economic development revenue bonds, which makes the project tax exempt, so they pay no sales tax on the construction materials.
Oh.
And so that's just one. That's the one that is grabbing a lot of attention. But there's 80th and Metcalf. That's a tax increment
I'm
finance.
close to that. Yeah,
Yes.
the Metcalf 80, the new
Yes.
development thing there. I know they're trying to do a lot. What looks like at Mission Farms type thing with the shops below, the living above.
Correct. And hey, I'm all over development because that's what I come from.
Well,
but
that area needs redevelopment.
Right. Well, absolutely. But when you are giving tax incentives for 20 years, that is just way beyond the scope.
So what should it be?
Well, I truly believe in the market. And Overland Park...
So no tax incentives or just for a very limited time?
Overland Park is a wonderful place to do business. Ask me. I was very successful doing business in Overland Park. We are not a blighted area. And when
we do have blighted areas.
Well, when we talk about blighted areas, you're not talking about Overland Park. Overland Park is one of the top 10 cities in the United States. We have tax incentives on 135th and Knoll. We have $100 million of tax incentives at 135th and Metcalf. That goes to 2036. We have a Star Bond district at 159th and Antioch.
I do think that getting people or getting businesses interested in moving into like downtown Overland Park, though, to me is huge.
Absolutely, but we need
Prairie
to be.
Fire might be a little over the top, but it's, you know what I mean. But
Prairie not on fire.
Prairie not. I don't want to hear it. So, do you want to take away those tax incentives, or you just want to reduce them? What do you see going in the future?
The tax incentives that are in place, they're in place. You
can't do anything about the ones that are out there now. But going forward,
you can't do anything about the ones going forward. But I will give you an example. Prior to 1996, Overland Park never gave any tax incentives.
Wow.
Sprint was the first tax incentive that they gave.
It was a big deal too.
It was a big deal, but it was an absolute disaster because
here we are 20 years later, and it's just cricket chirps.
Absolutely. That's the problem when you bet on the big boys.
Yeah.
And you're not just really focusing in on, okay, we need to make sure that Overland Park is a business-friendly city for everyone, not picking and choosing who's going to win and lose on tax policy.
So again, what would you do differently?
I would say that we don't need them.
Just period. We don't need them at all.
We don't need them.
Did you get a tax break on one of your properties?
Oh, absolutely. That's the beauty of it is that I understand this.
You've been on both ends of the spectrum.
I understand this system inside and out because I had industrial revenue bonds on an industrial building here in Olathe. It was a small project, and that is a big difference between that. Overland Park absolutely does not give tax incentives to small businesses. They need not apply. I'll give you an example. Revival Furniture.
Yes. I was just in there the other day.
Yes. Well, she went in, or a representative of hers went in and asked the city if there was any tax incentives for a small business, and they said, "Oh no, you're too small. You're too small." And she had a real rough time with the cities.
It took a long time to build, and
it took a long time to get her final occupancy.
They kind of lost their footing in that market too a little bit. They're going to have to work hard to get back.
Right. Well, I think Debbie's going to be fine, and Revival Furniture is going to be fine. But that is an example of how you need to be looking after the small businesses instead of placing hurdles in front of them.
So tell me though, how would you help the small businesses if there isn't going to be a tax incentive?
Example. And I was just talking to I've knocked on 2,400 doors, and I have written a note to every door that I've touched. And as I'm going around, I just met a gentleman who had a fishing tackle store downtown. Well, you have a downtown association that you had to pay taxes into, and it just became too much. It just became too much. And again, you're not focusing in on your small businesses. It's the big boys that get the big bucks. And I mean, we're talking hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars that's diverting from our schools, city, county, and state. Actually, tax incentives across the state of Kansas is costing us about $500 million a year.
So I have not been a good resident and gone to city council meetings in a while.
Oh.
Have you? And what did they say when you bring this up?
Oh, well, obviously they're cranky because they're very entrenched.
Them.
Yes, they're very entrenched, and Carl's been there as mayor since 2005, and I think that he was elected first to the council back in 1996.
Yeah.
So, yes, they're cranky about somebody bringing all these issues up. And I just point out that we're going to have a wonderful conversation, and then we'll let the people decide. But the one point about Overland Park policy is that they don't allow public comments at city council meetings.
Oh, I thought they did.
Last
time I went, they did.
No, public hearings.
Oh, gotcha.
Public hearings, and if there's a special use permit, they ask if anyone has anything to say.
Right.
But if you have a specific issue,
that's right.
Every other city, the school districts in the county, allow public comments on general issues. They don't. Well, actually, they do. They just had cut off some people on when they were making those comments.
It's hard. It's very difficult. You're right, to be heard as a citizen in some of those controlled environments like that.
Well, this is beyond control. They just don't allow them.
What was the tipping point to make you go, I'm in?
Well, when they were doing the two things, when they were doing the public hearing on Brookridge, I was a little concerned about how they weren't. I didn't feel that they were welcoming to people coming up and expressing their opposition to the Brookridge development. And then when I went and researched how many tax incentives that they're giving away, it just was, okay, somebody has to bring this policy up, because Republican, Democrat, doesn't matter. This is economic development, and it's a sacred cow, and nobody's going to talk about it. But while we have been accelerating our tax incentives in Overland Park, our property tax rate has gone from 7.65 mils up to 13.8. And so if this was such a grand scheme of public policy, our taxes would be going down. And they're doing the exact opposite. So, it's whether you believe in corporate welfare, that the big boys need to be getting more money in their pockets. Creative Planning, they're a $25 billion company, and they're moving from Mission and College to 435 and Knoll, which is a little over a mile. And we're moving from Leawood over to Overland Park.
Yeah.
They have a property tax abatement. They'll pay no sales tax on their construction materials or office equipment. And they also got $6.3 million from the state of Kansas, probably through the PEAKS program, where they get to retain up to 90% of their employees' income tax.
Wow. Well, you certainly... we'll enjoy this for a moment.
Yes.
And I'm going to dance. Oh, they're sweet. They're handing out water, too. Okay. I'm so happy that I can hear you.
Oh.
I truly have done 4 interviews.
You're just watching lips move, huh?
Yes.
There's my alma mater, Olathe North.
Oh,
go Olathe North. I did my student teaching at Olathe North.
You did? What year?
Oh, gosh. 75?
Okay.
That's fun.
It's been a long time ago.
Yeah.
Okay, so before the next band comes, so I'm going to ask this, though. So you've run, I really value your persistence. You've run 7 times and not been elected.
Yes.
So people are going to ask, what makes you qualified for this position?
Well, like I said, I served in the House of Representatives. I was the 3rd District Chair prior to that. I am willing to be the voice of the people. And that's a tough hill to climb. It really is. And I've gone after very high goals. I mean, to run for county commission. That's if you want to say that if you try, you shouldn't try again.
No, you're awesome. You don't know the word no. I love that.
Well, it's
all right. We're going to catch a break here in a minute too. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you. Good luck with everything, and we're so glad that you're here with us today. How can people find out more about your whole campaign and everything?
I have a website, o'haraformayor.com, and I may be showing up on your doorstep.
That's true. Are you on Facebook or anything like that?
Oh yeah, I have a Facebook page, and the opposition is calling me a radical, and actually because there's 5 other people running for council seats.
Oh,
That we are now called the Cult of O'Hara.
there's a lot of change.
Yeah,
a lot of change.
so I think I think that we're getting the attention of at least the status quo. And I mean, when you're getting into people's pocketbooks that are used to getting hundreds of millions of dollars, they do tend to
I
get
think
cranky.
you'll resonate with
Yes.
a lot of people. I
Well,
know.
yes, I mean, going door to door, absolutely, I
Yes.
have.
Well, thank you again
Thank you.
so much, and good
Thank
luck
you.
to you. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Charlotte, very much. Yes. And we'll be back with more of the Old Settlers Parade, sponsored by Santa Fe Tow, right after this on TV 25, where there's always something on. And we have extras today. And